Hi, my leadership gold diggers. Happy Thursday. I'm very excited to be here again, and it's really quite fun to see all the new people that are joining our group. And I'm hoping you're finding all of these daily nuggets to be helpful as I have coaching calls with some of the girls who have taken me up on these individual 15-minute coaching calls. It's really interesting to find out, what their goals are and what they're striving for. So I appreciate those of you who have taken me up on the individual coaching calls. It's nice to get to know you a little bit better, even though we only have a short amount of time. But I do want to talk to you about today's daily nugget. I had alluded to getting outside your comfort zone yesterday, and that is what I'm wanting to talk to you about today. And I titled this one, as I do my calendar, I kind of come up with titles and the themes of what I want these to be. But I titled this one, Behave to Become. And maybe you guys can think about, what does it mean, behave to become? I'm really wanting you, because of your desire to be in this group, the goal for you is to become that team manager, to re-rank to that team manager status. Now, what is it, if you have already been there, what is it that got you there? Is it that you worked hard to put together a foundation so that you could be that leader? Or did it come by accident, maybe too quickly, that you weren't ready to sustain that leadership because you just didn't have everything, that good solid foundation? Well, most ladies that I talk to that became team manager, senior team manager, and haven't been able to hold it is sometimes out of their control. But sometimes it is in their control. And so therefore, we really have to figure out what it is that in our own individual situation is the thing that we want to help us maintain that leadership rank. So what I think a lot of it is holding us back from progressing of where we want to go is that we think we have to know everything. For those of you who have not hit that team manager status, maybe it's that you think you have to know everything to be a leader. And I'm letting you know that, guess what? Most of the time, we don't know everything. Think of Elizabeth coming into Jamberry. She came into this, and it was her 1-year anniversary just a week ago. And those of you that hit LC and above probably received a nice little postcard and gift from her. But the interesting thing is that as I talked with Elizabeth yesterday after our all hands meeting, is that she was scared. She didn't have all the answers. And you'd think this CEO coming in fearless and everything would have all the answers. Not necessarily. She didn't have all the answers and still doesn't have all the answers. So she's trying a few things, and that's why we have to give her a little grace. And hopefully when you have team members, you'll recognize that you yourself need a little bit grace, because guess what? We're all human. And it's interesting because I know that a lot of people who want to have coaching calls with me, I realize I have my glasses right there, coaching calls with me are wanting all the answers. And I'm going to tell you, I don't have all the answers, because the answers are going to be different for each of you in each of your own situations. But we can sure brainstorm, and we can kind of do some deductions. We're deducing things. We're looking at things and trying to figure out what it is that might be the problem. And sometimes it is that you were doing really good in something, but you haven't been doing them consistently. So as a leader, doing things consistently is really the key. So therefore, I want you to behave to become. I want you to look at a leader in your upline, or maybe in your sideline, or somebody that you admire. And I want you to look at what they do. How do they act? How do they lead? What is it that those qualities that you want to be, how are you going to, maybe you need to write them down and prioritize, and how are you going to emulate those and put your own spin on it? Don't be that person, and don't imitate in the sense that doing everything, but be your own person, but use those qualities of kindness, the qualities of listening, maybe building relationships a little bit better, maybe, maybe they send out great stuff, but is that really going to build your business? Like I mentioned the other day, what is it that is really making them be a leader? Is it that they're consistently working their business, that they do coaching calls, that they are working, having bookings, they're finding bookings, that they're selling, and that they're recruiting consistently, or finding creative ways to get leads, things like that? What are the qualities that you want to emulate to become the leader that you want to be? And that's why I keep saying, behave to become. It's funny because I noticed that there are people that everything is, I don't know how to explain this, but when I read posts, it's like the world is falling in, and I know that we all have struggles. And at the end of the day, they list their struggles, but I'm going to get through it. Or, they put everything out there. The thing about it is a leader is not going to tell what the troubles are. A leader will not sit there and whine and then say, but I'm going to get through this, and we're going to get through this together. It's like you're telling that the sky is falling, and why does anybody want to know that the sky is falling? Because we all see that the sky is falling. It's okay to have issues or have struggles, but by putting them out there and letting people know what struggles they are, it's going to kind of distance people. And therefore, when you look at leaders, you never see that they're going to put out the bad stuff. Look at Elizabeth. Even when she's probably having the poopiest day in the world and she's getting yelled at by a bazillion other consultants, she's not going to come on here and say, okay, people, yeah, so I did this and I did this, and you know what? Life sucks. But guess what? We're going to get through it. You'll never ever see Elizabeth or Stacy doing that, because leaders lead by example. They provide hope to their teams. And yeah, you may not have all the answers, but that doesn't mean that you have to announce it to the world. I'm hoping this makes sense. I'm probably spinning this all around, and you guys are probably going, what the heck? But how do leaders act? How do leaders lead? What do they do? And I want you to emulate that. Try that out for a little bit. Put on somebody else's hat. But leaders don't need to know everything all at once. Leaders will figure it out. So I want you to start now. You don't need to know everything. I want you to start figuring things out. You know enough to be a leader. When I came into this position as a national sales manager, I've been a creative director for 25 years. There was no term sales in my title. This is the same thing. I was thrown into this, just like some of you are being thrown into leading a team or being a consultant, not knowing how to do sales, not knowing how to do reports, not knowing how to do a lot of things. But guess what? We have to try it out. And yes, we're going to make mistakes. And I asked you at the beginning of September, promise me you're going to fail. And yes, you will fail. Promise me that you are. But you will figure things out, and you're going to learn from those failures. But we're not going to announce to the world that the sky is falling and that life is hard, because we know life is hard. We just want to be able to work through those and know that we're going to get through them, and we'll figure things out. So I want you to become the leader that you want to become. Who is that? Look at somebody. See who that might be. Do you want to be Elizabeth? Do you want to be Stacy? Do you want to be somebody else who might be one of our advisory board leaders, or maybe your upline member? But I have a challenge for you. And remember, I said that this was stepping outside your comfort zone. Leading your team and training them is stepping outside your comfort zone. And I don't mean this by doing a Facebook training. I do not mean this by putting out a Facebook training. This I know is a Facebook Live and a training and all that stuff, but for your teams, you need to build those individual connections. And so I'm going to put a big challenge out there for those of you who are up for the taking. So this is what I'm going to have you do, is I want you to find a topic that you are not really comfortable with. Maybe you're great at selling. So I want you to find something on recruiting because you're not so good at recruiting. I want you to find that, and I want you to research it. And I want you to make 3 to 5 slides or graphics. You can use WordSwag, PowerPoint if you're good at PowerPoint. And I want you to do your training on those slides. And then, so I want you to post those 3 to 5 slides. So post your first one and then the additional ones underneath your original post. Hopefully that makes sense. So basically, I'm going to take Michelle Booth, for example. Just saw your name right there. And you say Morgan Cullen. She is a great leader, so emulate her. She's so fun-loving. She is just fabulous. Okay, I digress. But Michelle will post her first graphic, and then she'll reply and put her second graphic and third graphic, fourth graphic, and fifth graphic down there. So that's how you would do it. So I'm saying that you have 3 to 5 slides, and I want you to then plan to post or do your training this month for your team. Do a Zoom call. If you haven't done Zoom yet, it's a free thing. Also, Google Hangouts is free, so you could use Google Hangouts. You can do, I learned of a new app called House Party, where you can get everybody together and you can be all on there and see everybody's pictures. So that's called House Party. You can look that up on the app store for Android and iPhone. But I want you to be with your team as you present this training, so that you guys can discuss this. And being a leader, again, doesn't mean that you have all the answers. That's why we work together, because together, many brains, many ideas come up to help each other overcome certain situations. We're all in different situations, but that's why we come together, to be able to solve these. Okay, so that's my challenge. Now, I'm going to give you a little more time than normal. So I would have given you, a few days, but I'm going to actually give this to you until next Tuesday. And next Tuesday, where'd my wrap go? Oh, there it is. All right. I actually have these, what's this called? Mirrored Charm. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's this awesome satin, so that matte metallic, and absolutely love this wrap. You guys, I'm a silver fan. Can you see all this silver that I wear? I wear a lot of silver. So I'm a fan of silver. I'll have other gold wraps too, guys. So hopefully you will step outside your comfort zone. Take me up on the challenge of creating that team training for your team of something that you are not comfortable with. Be honest with yourself and choose something that will stretch you outside your comfort zone, because again, we learn by doing, as I mentioned yesterday. All right, guys. Again, have a wonderful day and have a great week. I will see you from Victoria, BC in Canada tomorrow. And then I have a surprise guest on Monday for you guys. So it's always great to hear from your peers. You'll watch that. And looking forward to seeing what you guys plan on training for your teams. Love you guys. Thank you for taking me up on the challenges and stepping outside your comfort zone so that you can behave to become. All right, guys, take care. Bye.